Okay, in today's video, we're going to be taking a detailed look at my 100 million red diamond play button. We'll be discussing in detail how close the replica is to the real thing. We'll talk about what could be improved on the design and what things we absolutely nailed. Let's get into it. So more or less everyone that watched the main channel Jax Looks Alive video, they absolutely loved it. They thought that the play button looked perfect. But there were a few people that had a couple of issues. The main thing I saw was that the play button body, which is this metal bit rather than the central crystal, basically they said that it wasn't quite dark enough, which when you compare this bird's eye view shot here to that famous shot in the Paris Museum, the body basically looks completely black, whereas in this lighting the play button is very similar to the 10 million subscriber diamond play button, which is basically just meant to be completely clear like a mirror. But the reason it looks so dark in the Paris Museum is because that shot was backlit, whereas I have two ginormous bright lights shining on me, so with those being the main thing reflected, this does obviously look way brighter. Now if I go ahead and put the diamond play buttons where they're normally kept, when they're side by side you can see that the red diamond play button is way darker than the 10 million subscriber diamond play button. And then similarly, the only other time that we get to see a 100 million red diamond play button is in PewDiePie's unboxing video from 2019, and his lighting in that video was absolutely dreadful. Every single time we use that footage, Becky has to mess with the brightness and contrast quite a bit just to make the play button look half decent. So once again, the play button looks a bit darker in that video as well. However, when you look at the official release photo that Society Awards list for the red diamond play button on their website, you can see that that play button looks a lot more like the play button that you can see in front of you here. So I do think the color is actually pretty accurate. What I do think that Jason may have gotten slightly wrong is how sharp these edges are. Now I don't know how easy it is to show on camera, but if I bring the real 10 million subscriber diamond play button into frame and I just hover it around, each edge, like these things here, they're quite soft edges, and it kind of makes the whole thing blend together in a way that this play button underneath doesn't. Because if I bring this to the camera and I shake that one around in comparison, all of these edges, they're all slightly pointier. They look pointier, don't they? They definitely look pointier. So it's only a small thing, but if you have seen both in person, you can tell the difference. The actual size of the diamond play button, I do think, is pretty spot on. If you look very, very carefully in the Jax Looks Alive video, when it's in the briefcase, you can see that there is room to move. However, if you look at the real thing being put into the briefcase in the What's Inside video, there's that same amount of spare room, so the size of the play button is actually pretty spot on. In my opinion, the main way that you can tell the difference between this fake and the real thing is actually the red diamond centerpiece, because even looking at it here, it's just darker. When you look at PewDiePie move his around, it's not much brighter, but there's definitely a shinier red. And in order for you to see that same shiny red on my play button, I have to angle it in very specific ways, and that's when you get those glimpses of the nice red. Now I think that's mainly responsible to how it was glued down, because I think the glue underneath actually does stop quite a lot of the shine, and it's only on those bits where there isn't any glue that it has that bright color. Oh, you see when I put it there, ooh, see, it looks quite nice there, doesn't it? But then when you just catch it like this, it is a bit darker looking. But the main reason for that is that the real red diamond play button, they use Baccarat crystal, which is a luxury French crystal that is very, very expensive. You can tell it's a big deal because Society Awards, they're based in America, in New York, whereas the Baccarat crystal is produced in Paris, and then the crystal is imported over. Whereas the 10 million subscriber diamond play button, the whole thing is just produced at the Society Awards factory. So in order to have this manufactured, I actually spent, I think it was $1,100, which is already very expensive, so we don't have the money or the contacts to actually get a real Baccarat crystal produced. So if you were being really picky, it would be the centerpiece that lets this thing down, because it is just red glass as opposed to Baccarat crystal. But that being said, overall, I think this is a really, really accurate replica, and I absolutely love it. I love the fact that we used a real red diamond briefcase in order to produce a very, very accurate red diamond play button. So happy with this. Very grateful to Jason for his help. It is unbelievably heavy. But it does look amazing. It's a wonderful thing to have in the collection. Perhaps me and Jason need to make a PewDiePie Brofist 50 million replica. What do you think? Could that be something you're interested in? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to Jax YouTube channel full of fun times and fun Harry Kiss, and I will see you later.